Hey there, listeners. This is Zach. I want to say a couple things at the top of this episode. This is a really special episode for me because I finally got to interview some of my own students. It only took 258 episodes, but I finally got there. So, a couple things. The theme song, you'll notice if you're familiar with our regular theme song, which I composed, this week, it's a little different. It's actually a remix of that theme song made by one of my students. His name is Soul, and I just want to shout him out. Hello and welcome to the Modern Classrooms Project podcast. My name is Zach Diamond, and I'm a high school media production teacher in Washington, D.C., and, of course, a Modern Classrooms implementer. And today, I have the immense pleasure of being joined by three of my own students at D.C. International School. I'm joined by Kennedy, Hansi, and Ian, and it is such a pleasure to have the three of you on the podcast. Thank you all so much for coming on and joining me.
It's our pleasure.
Thanks for inviting us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so the reason why I choose to stay in this class is honestly because our teacher, Mr. Diamond, he's so nice, and he's one of the best professors I know. And honestly, I agree with Ian. The workload is really nice, and it's subtle. So you have a lot of time to complete whatever it is you don't finish in time. You won't get mad at us for that. And also, I did have food poisoning maybe about a month ago. And honestly, Mr. Diamond was really patient with me about, completing the work that I had to do. And also, I did join his class a bit late this year just because I was taking another one. And I was just like, oh my gosh, since I've been taking audio production for a while now, I want to join back because the class is just so much fun. And overall, my confidence in this class is through the roof. I just have so much fun talking to people and working with people and getting to just meet new people and getting to do podcasts with them, getting to interview them. And obviously, it's a great experience for me too. Just to keep coming back to this class and just be happy with it every single time.
I like the feeling of being able to express myself creatively. I've had a lot of fun doing all the projects. I just made this fun podcast about a fake alien invasion. I'm pretty proud of it, and I really like expressing myself creatively in the class. And I touched on that last year, but I've really been able to do a lot of it this year, and I'm really proud of my work so far. And I have a lot of fun in the class. I like all the people. All the kids are really nice. Mr. Diamond's nice. I really like talking to him about just interesting stuff and music and stuff because we have a common interest in that.
I think a lot of times students don't like to watch my videos, but I do put a lot of work in them to get the content to you that way without having to stand at the front of the class and teach it. And I'm curious to hear your perspective on those videos.
So at first, in 8th grade, your videos were honestly making me mad because honestly, they were in Spanish, so I didn't really understand what you were saying at first. Even though I've been taking Spanish for a really long time, it just would have been better in English for me. But for this year and last year, your videos honestly have helped me a lot. So usually I wouldn't have to call you over to me all the time when I could just watch your video and watch the GIFs and the slides and the hard work that you put into the videos. And they're honestly just a really step-by-step easy tutorial for me to go off of when I'm doing a project, answering the slides, and doing all my classwork. So yeah, I really like the videos now, but back then not so much because they were in Spanish and I just didn't really understand it as much.
It was music in Spanish, to be fair. Audio production is in English, and it does definitely feel to me like I'm able to sort of focus more on the content now because it's in English. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the videos are pretty great. For I totally agree with Kennedy in middle school where it was obviously music in Spanish, but since personally I'm a native speaker, it wasn't too bad. But I could see where some people would kind of struggle there. But overall, the videos are pretty helpful because they provide a guide that sort of tells you what steps you need to do. And so with that, Mr. Diamond wouldn't really have to repeat himself as much every time. So you would just watch like each video that is on the slideshow, and then it'll tell you step by step on what to do. And if you still have questions, then you can obviously come back to Mr. Diamond. But like I said, overall, the videos are pretty helpful, especially for me, since they kind of like help you get started, if that makes sense.
Honestly, I was the kind of kid to like spend a lot of time like focused on one thing, and like I kind of fell behind a few times, but I made sure I was like finished by the end at least. So it was nice to like at least like see my progress and like know that I could still like probably like finish everything, you know? And I just really like being able to see where I'm supposed to be at, honestly. 'Cause like it's a nice like reminder, you know?
Are you talking about the blue column in the tracker?
Yeah, the blue column and stuff.
Oh, I'm so glad that you said that, because sometimes I don't know if my students actually pay attention to those colors, but I'm glad to hear that you do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with Hansi. I mean, the pacing tracker is pretty useful, and like I agree with him where like in middle school I would fall behind sometimes, but now I'm like in my period, like my zone where I'm just like locked in, and so when I do like work on a project, for example, like I could see where I'm at, and I also pay attention to the pacing tracker because it like tells you if I missed a lesson or if I need to like go back, for example, or something like that. And it also like shows like what's next. So if I'm done with something, which I'm pretty sure one of these units that we did, I was like ahead for one point.
Yeah.
Then I could just like move on to the next lesson, and yeah.
Yeah, honestly, for me personally, I love the tracker because as a person who usually has a lot of missing work, I get to just look up at the board and see what I'm missing or what I just need to complete. If I'm falling behind or something I could already get a head start on. So honestly, I just think it's a really helpful tool for all of our students, like my classmates, to have, just as a reminder to make sure to finish some work, you know, just to get stuff done and just not be stressed about the workload. So it's a good strategy and a tool, and I really like it a lot.
Did it ever make you feel nervous or anxious to like have your progress publicly displayed on the board and to be able to see everybody's progress? Or did that not bother you?
Not really for me. I mean, I don't think many people like paid attention to like how good my progress was. I mean, I was only really paying attention to what my progress was, so I can only assume like people were just paying attention to what their progress was. So, yeah, not really.
Yeah, I also agree. It didn't really bother me that much. Maybe in middle school, I was like, you know, a little something about it. But now it's just there for me. And like Hansi said, nobody else really pays attention to other people's progress. They only pay attention to their progress for the most part. So it's not bad.
Actually, I have one more thing to add. Like, I kind of liked for the progress tracker. I kind of liked like being able to look at like how my peers were doing. Actually, I didn't really focus on anyone in particular, but like being able to see like how everybody, like where everybody else was, and to know like if everybody was like stuck on the same part I was or something like that. Like that was really nice and like comfortable, you know.
It's pretty easier for me to take accountability just because I'm easily distracted with a lot of my other classes, and I try to get myself back on track to where I usually was. So honestly, in your class, it's easier for me to like just stay on track because of the tracker. So usually I'm pretty like so slow paced because I'm always doing something in your class. Whatever, it could be recording or editing, like because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so usually I just want to make sure that it's good enough, like it's to my liking. So, yeah, honestly, I just think like it's easier for me to take accountability when I know when I'm slowing down, like when I'm falling behind a bit, so I just gotta try to catch up. So yeah, I think it's pretty simple.
That's great. Ian, how about you?
Yeah, I also agree. but I would say that it depends on the person, because for me, I really like the subject, but for another person, they might not be as interested in audio production or music or whatever, and so it really depends on the person. But I would say I would also like stay on pace pretty well, and like for example, that tracker really helps me like stay focused, because like I know what I need to do, and I could just go from there and do work.
That's awesome. Man, I feel so happy to hear that feedback from you all, because like I said to Hansi before, like sometimes I wonder, I'm putting this thing up on the board. do people, are people using it the way that I hope that they're using it? I'm just really, really happy to hear that it seems like the answer is yes.
The first podcast that I'd done, the first project, the fake alien invasion, it was just like, it was really fun to make that, I felt like. And it was like, I liked being able to, I already said this, but I really like being able to express myself and my ideas like creatively, and like just have like a fun time like collecting people's like voices and like interviewing them and stuff, and like just making it as good as I like imagined it could be. And I was really proud of the product, and I just really liked making that project overall. It was really fun.
My favorite project that I've done in your class is definitely the one with K-On. That was my most favorite project. I worked so hard on that one. I locked in for that one. Working with all my friends and creating something like this, it was probably one of the best experiences I've had when, like, being in a class and working at school. So honestly, like, my friends did so well with the voiceover recordings, and my mom was so happy for me. She sent it to like all my family members, and we're like, "Oh my God, Kennedy, like, this is so great. Like, how long did it take you?" And I said, like, it took me a while. And I was just so proud of myself and happy in that moment. And it makes me want to keep on going and just keep making more projects like these. And I hope we get to do another one of those projects in the future.
My favorite project is the one that I did this year, which was a podcast called The Man in the Spirit. And I would say that's my favorite project because I worked so hard on it. And to me, that I originally made that project the voice recording using AI for a English project in 8th grade. And then in 8th grade, I remember that it was my dream to like make it better and like, make it professional. And my dream came true this year because I was able to get it done. But yeah, I basically worked like really hard on it, and I put like my full effort. I've used all of the skills I've learned from the past, and my podcast came out pretty well. So I love that one.
It definitely did. And I think it's interesting to me that it wasn't, because what you really, really latched onto, Ian, at least to my eyes, was the music aspect of Soundtrap, right? Making songs, making beats. And this was a podcast, right? It wasn't making a song, but you had all those skills that Soundtrap know-how, and you put it to work in that project. Like, I remember sitting down at your table and like I started scrolling to try and see all the tracks, and I was like, this just keeps going. There's so many tracks. There's so much here. And it was all positioned like just so that it fit with the voice and the music was just right. So, yeah, I love that. I love that all three of you remember these projects that you worked so hard on, right? Like they weren't easy, but they stuck with you. And it is that sort of like that feeling of accomplishment, right? Where you make something really cool after a lot of really hard work.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course.
So fun.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you so much for listening. Listeners, remember you can always email us at podcast@modernclassrooms.org, and you can find the links to topics and tools we discussed, as well as more info on this week's announcements and events in the show notes for this episode at podcast.modernclassrooms.org. We'll have this episode's recap and transcript uploaded to the Modern Classroom's blog on Friday, so be sure to check there or check back in the show notes for this episode if you'd like to access those. And if you enjoy our podcast, and it's been helpful in supporting you to create a blended, self-paced, mastery-based learning environment, we would love if you would leave a review that does help other folks find our podcast. And of course, you can always learn the essentials of our model if you want to go beyond the podcast through our free course at learn.modernclassrooms.org. You can follow us on social media at ModernClassProj, that's Proj, and we're so appreciative of all the hard work that you do for students in schools. Have a great week, and we'll be back next Sunday with another episode of the Modern Classrooms Project podcast.